What's happening now across the Niagara frontier? News stories, old stories, stuff you know about and stuff you'd never believe. It's the Niagara Hub Soapbox with Craig Avery.
Well, today we've got mayoral candidate Glenn Choolokian, who has been a council person for...
This is my second term, 4 years this time and 1 year in 2005.
And you were chairperson...
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Glad you're here. Your first time at the Hub.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
So now you're part of the criminal element. Now you've arrived at the Hub. You can get all the stuff thrown at you now that everybody else does. But we were telling Glenn that this place, everybody just kind of shows up. You never know who's going to show up. You usually have people that just come in and just start talking, and it's kind of fun. And when two opposite people get together and talk about things, I think that's our best success here. But this kind of series that we've had with the mayoral candidates, the council candidates, has been good just to get the word out, get the personalities out there. People can see in a different light. I know I've always encouraged people to get to the council meetings and see how the city works and see how the types of people and the types of actions that work. You've had that experience. Talk about some of the experience you've had as a council person, some of the good things you're proud of, and some of the things you know you can carry on as a mayor.
Well, you know what's frustrating, Greg, is you hit it on the head. You wish more people went to the council meetings, and I can understand their frustration. A lot of people doesn't know how the city works. They come to a council meeting, they yell, scream, or whatever they want to do, thinking the council can do something. And that's what frustrates me, because there's no thing called a mayor's meeting. I always said for years, there should be a mayor's meeting opposite our meeting or the same day. Because here's what happens. People come, they have problems, and they want to complain to the council because we're really the only group you can talk to. But we don't run day-to-day operations. That's the frustrating part. We can't say, okay, you have a great idea, or I hear your problem, I want to help you. We don't run day-to-day operations, so we can't make the mayor or the administrator do what their problems is to fix it or whatever. That's the frustrating part. But I tell everybody, with this new age, how people are living, every day you're running around, especially with kids. I have 2 kids. You're running around from here every day doing something. By the time you look at the clock, it's 9:15. So do they know how the government works? Do they know how the city hall works? Absolutely not. Do I blame them? Not really, because life's just so busy now, Mm-hmm. I think what I like to tell everybody is, you get involved as much as you can and ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm very proud to be a councilman. This is my second term. 2005 I was there. My background, I started with the city of Niagara Falls. I think I was 20 or 21 years old. Got involved with the union, negotiated contracts, went through budgets. So my expertise is the budget part of the city of Niagara Falls. Every time there was a tax increase or layoffs, I really did my hard work to try to make sure we had zero tax increase, no layoffs. Because what layoffs means is with this, people lose services. And I always say it's simple. It should be about our families and the small business here. That's what the Glenn Choolokian is all about. To a point now is I think I'm wherever I can go. Excuse me. As a council person, you only do so much. I think Niagara Falls has a lot of opportunities, but I'm going to be honest. I think it's horrible what our city has turned into. In the early 90s, I had 2 nightclubs. So I am a business person. Again, almost 30 years working for the city of Niagara Falls and Niagara Falls Water Board.
What were your nightclubs?
I had Hustlers Nightclub and Skylines Nightclub on Main Street, Main and Niagara, and then right across the street from the police station was my second place. I seen, and I caught the tail end of Main Street, grew up on Niagara Avenue, remember the good days with my parents, Slip Goes Jens, and that Main Street I really have a soft spot for. I think it should come back. Pine Avenue is not going in the right direction. Niagara Street, I think, is kind of what Ron Andrew and that group did is a mark that it can be changed, So why am I running for mayor? I just think this is it. I think this is the end of Niagara Falls. Never make nothing personal. I think that if this administration continues to do what they're doing, Niagara Falls is going to be done. And I'm frustrated. I think they're driving all the good people out. So I think with my background, I think I'm the leader that can move to Niagara Falls in the right direction. And I'll be honest with you, like I tell everybody, like in these interviews, you're going to get a lot of negative campaigning against me from the Democrats, from the Republicans, and it's simple. Nobody can control me. I'm just an honest guy that cares about the families, So you're going to get all the negative stuff about me, and it doesn't bother me, because I always say the best reaction is no reaction. And, my dad told me a long time ago, there's one thing in your life you can't fix, and that's your name. So one thing with me is I'll never tarnish my name. If I tell you something, it might not be the answer you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you my honest feeling. I do a lot of research, and this is why I'm doing this, or why I vote on something. So I think we have a great opportunity in Niagara Falls, and I think this is it. We have to stop talking about the last 30, 40 years, because we continue on, we're going to be all done. And I tell everybody, 30 years in this system, I've seen every bad move every politician ever made, and I've been consistent. Two things with me, I've been consistent. I do my research. When I vote on something, I tell you why, and I'm very accessible. You know what I mean? You can always get to me. If you call me, I'm calling you back. I've been consistent about not blowing money. We went through $200 million of casino money, and what do we have to show for it? $200 million in our town is worse than before the casino came here. So I've been consistent about being conservative with the money. We definitely have to take a step back, look at everything individually, one thing at a time, and see, how can this benefit Greg Avery? How can this benefit the person down the street forever? I always said, if we spend casino money, and 10 years from now we look at something, how did that park get built? And I tell you, 10 years ago, casino money paid for that. That's a good thing. If we don't know what $200 million was spent on, that's not a good thing. We got to make that money, put something that made a major impact in the families and small business in Niagara Falls. That's what I'm talking about. We really got to spend our money wisely.
Now, in the interviews with the council candidates that we've had, they all say they want to be on the council to help change the city. Well, you've been on the council. This has got to be frustrating for you. Is it the mayoral administration that you've just run into, or is it just? Do you see a way that a council and a mayoral administration group can really take the city?
You always hear it's the council against the mayor. Like I always tell everybody, if you look at our voting records, especially mine, it's like 95 to 98% you're voting with the mayor. It's those small things that I vote no against that I think, okay, it's not good for Niagara Falls. It's not good for the families. It's not good for small business. You hear negative stuff about council, mayor. Tell you the truth, you're always going to have different kinds of personalities, but you got to look at it as a whole. How can we work together to make your life better or our family's life better? And I think egos get involved. Again, like I said, I've been consistent in what I do. You can like me, hate me, but if you look at my voting record, you'll see, okay, Glenn Choolokian voted for this, and he told you why, and here's the research he did. And again, I think that special interest groups get involved in Niagara Falls, and one thing, I'm not a shy person, I call it how it is. Politicians have a lot of people behind them that they want to make a lot of money. And Niagara Falls is known for that. I don't have nobody behind me. Like I tell everybody, if you vote me out, what happens to me? I get to spend more time with my kids. I just have an act with city government. Like again, I grew up in this system. So I think that with my leadership and how I know the system works and how I know things that benefit everybody in Niagara Falls should come first, that's why I think I should be your next mayor.
And again, what could you do from the other side now, being the mayor? How can you help the new council?
Well, what it is, you got to.
Would you change some of the ways that are?
Yeah, like we always hear, the open door policy. You know what the open door policy is? If you're in that clique, there's open door policy. You know what I mean? Am I in a clique? No, I'm with me. Like I've been with Bob Anderson, I've been with Babe Rotella, Sam Ferjone, Andy Toomas here now, Charles Walker. If it's something good, you got to vote with each other. And I always tell everybody, there's nothing wrong when you run for office and you really don't know what you're getting into. But I get frustrated. You finally get there. You better learn what that job is and put the time in to figure out, let me do my research and learn what I got to do with this job. And that's the most important thing. I love when people get involved, especially when I see young kids get involved. There's a couple young kids that run this time, but please learn the job. That's the important part. Because you know what? Like I tell everybody, every vote you make has a major effect on our families. I have 2 kids. I told Andy Tuma he's got 5 kids. You better, when you vote, remember that's your vote's going to change laws and change the direction of what your family and your kids are going to go through. So please learn the job.
Right. Your team, if you run, certainly nobody announces anything till after. It's frustrating for a voter to say, well, how do we know what this guy can do? Because we don't know who's going to run his highway department. We don't know who's going to run the city administrator work. I've equated it to the coach on a football team. Might be the best coach in the world, but if he doesn't have a quarterback or a guy that can catch or a good defensive. So how does a voter gain confidence without knowing who your team's going to be? I don't.
You know what? That's a good question. Do I have a team? Do I have people in mind? Back in my head, I always tell you have to win first before you even go in the right direction. Number 1. Number 2, if I'm lucky enough to win, I'm gonna have interviews. We're gonna talk to people, and it's easy with me. Whoever cares about Niagara Falls, whoever has that vision to make Niagara Falls better, that's the people I want around me. I want to surround myself with good, qualified people that are qualified with the jobs, that are going to make Niagara Falls a better place. So do I have people in mind? Yeah, somewhat. You win in September, then you move on. Once I get there, you're going to see a good, qualified staff around me that Niagara Falls comes first, and that's it.
Great. What are you excited about that's happening right now in the city?
Well, I'm excited about it. You see that people are still in love with Niagara Falls. I mean, like you talk about development. I'm going to tell you from day one. I always said, like, it's great they're building downtown, but for that things to happen, it's going to happen. And how I think Niagara Falls should be turned around is very simple. You have to get the crime off the street, number one. You have to clean up the city. Okay. You have to have opportunities for the families here. You have to have an environment where the taxes aren't high. We've been talking for years, the taxes are too high for what we're doing here. Okay, we just blew through $200 million casino money. We're talking about layoffs, we're talking about raising taxes. They just raised taxes this last budget session. Okay, I think we have to be in a different direction and a creative way how we do things. So, am I excited about downtown Niagara Falls? I think downtown Niagara Falls is going to fix itself once you have safe streets, low taxes, and job opportunities. When people start moving here and they say, it's safe to go here. It's clean here. The taxes aren't that high. Development's going to come. Okay, I'm going to tell you, like, a lot of people think that you have to, entice development here. I said it for a long time ago. We're in the best country in the world. If you work hard tomorrow, you could be a millionaire. Okay, we shouldn't be paying for your dreams. Okay, number one. Number two, I've seen it for so many years. Like, I started my businesses in the early '90s on Main Street. They were giving some money out to a couple of different businesses, but it wasn't to everybody. But it didn't help the area. What I always said for years, if we pump money into a couple places and the business is still slow and there's nothing there, it didn't do you no good. You know what I mean? Let's think about what can we do to make that whole area good, make the street or the city, very busy, thriving. Okay, because if it's thriving, you're going to make money. You know what I mean? It's no good we're handing out money. And what good is it if your business is dead or that area is dead? So I think we got to look at new ways to kind of, what can we do for those small business owners that's going to make the whole areas at a time, more busy, more thriving, more revenue coming in.
Sure. And do you have any anticipated reaching out to the small business? How are you going to find out from the small businesses what it is they're looking for?
Well, you know what it is? I'll tell you the truth, because my background is small business, and I do have a lot of good relations with small business. And you know what it is? You hear the same thing. They just want a fair shake. They want to be able to open up their business and have the same advantage as everybody else. I'll tell you what really frustrates me. You see, I get calls from friends in Las Vegas, friends in Arizona. They're talking about the Startup New York program. Okay, you have a governor of a state that's giving free taxes, free money to all these people if you move here. The people here, I love to use this one as an example. Empire Billiards was in business for 60 years, okay? Larry Drasitano was the father, and his son Dodo was involved, okay? 60 years, okay? Moved from Fall Street, moved to Main Street, moved to Pine Avenue. They shut their doors and nobody reached out to them. Is there anything we can do to help you stay open? But there must be hundreds of businesses over the years that just said, enough's enough, and we closed up. And we're advertising out of town to give tax-free, no sales tax, no employee tax, no tax on the property. Come on, what can we do for the small businesses here? That's the things we're going to look at. Do I have a magic answer that's going to help you with your business in town right now? No, absolutely not. But we're going to reach out, talk to the small business owners, and see what we can do for our hometown guys. Do we want to develop from out of town? Sure we do. But bring your money here and let's develop. And the best part, like I said before, if our towns, the city of Niagara Falls is moving in the right direction, we're busy, they're going to come. Because if you can make money, business people are coming here. You know what I mean? If you give them free money, they just open up. What good is in a couple of years they sell the place or close up? You know what I mean? So that's the frustrating part. Yeah, you're right. We're going to definitely reach out to small businesses, and we'll see what they need.
Cool. Well, look, we appreciate your service so far, as they always say, but we're anxious to see you in there. You're a colorful guy, and the council meetings, I'm entertained every Monday. I know that when I show up there, and stay in touch with us. Come more often as you go. Next step in the campaign is what?
We're going to have a fundraiser on May 27th at the Yacht Club, 6 to 8. That's going to be the official kickoff.
The LaSalle Yacht Club.
LaSalle Yacht Club. We're going to have a little website going up, and we're going to start from there, and we'll be going door to door. I went to 15,000 houses the first time I ran for mayor, and then 10,000 houses when I ran for council. So We'll be busy. We'll be knocking on doors, and like I said, just if you're looking for a change, I tell you it's simple. It's about our families. That's what my whole campaign's about. You know what I mean? It's just we got to do what's best for the families of Niagara Falls and the small business. And it's not that hard. Let's just do the right thing.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
Keep it going, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.